What's up, everyone? Since the last time you saw the 240, there's been a lot of stuff happening with it. I'm putting together like 4 to 5 different video projects. I'm currently working on restoring the interior, so the car is kind of out of commission at the moment, but I got a limited slip differential, brakes are on the way, wheels are on their way, so a lot of really cool stuff coming. But recently I was in Johnson City, Tennessee at Borla because my friend Chris wanted to get an exhaust on his Cayman, and I was really curious about the manufacturing process, so I thought, why don't we set up a cool road trip around it, and while we were there, throw the 240 on a dyno and see what kind of power it was still making after almost 30 years and 160,000 miles worth of driving.
What are your thoughts? That doesn't look very... Let's go ask him. All right, I need your raw emotions here. I need your thoughts. What do you think is going to happen?
It might blow up. It doesn't blow up.
It's not going to blow up. It's going to do just fine.
She's old. I don't think she's ever been rebuilt.
I mean, you've treated it well, though. Kinda.
Kinda.
Has he treated it well?
I did an oil change before I came here.
Oh, there you go.
Count?
Yeah. You've treated it well. Give her a pat for good luck.
Be good to me, car. Be good.
Be good to him.
I've driven you like 6,000 miles so far, and you haven't given me any problems.
Do not.
Except for the exhaust breaking off.
We have to drive you other places. Don't explode.
So out of 3 rounds, the last one, 118 horsepower at 5,400 RPM and 129 pound-feet of torque at 4,500 RPM. That was pretty cool.
That wasn't bad at all.
No, it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. But you know, it feels a lot faster than that.
I know. It's like the things like you drive a fast car slower, a slow car fast.
Oh, is that?
It's like driving a fast car slower, a slow car fast. It feels fast. It's so low to the ground. That was insane, dude.
That was really cool.
240's a champ.
I've never seen a dyno done before. Well,
Me either.
Aside from your car.
Well, yeah. I mean,
This
today
trip
it's a whole
has
new
been a
day,
first, yeah. I guess the only thing left to do now is to go ahead and get that temporary exhaust put on so I can drive this to Nashville and back, and then back to Nashville and then down to Florida before you do the engine swap, so I don't hate myself every time I drive it on the highway.
And or go deaf.
It was really cool, like when it first happened.
And now,
but
it's
now I'm
like,
just like, oh, my head.
Perfect bike.
I'm gonna have to get a custom exhaust made anyway once the RB gets thrown in, but since I have no exhaust now, I figured while we were here, let's go ahead and get a temporary setup put on the car that will sound good, cut out a little bit of drone, and make it a little bit easier to drive on a daily basis. The first thing they have to do is basically make a template for the new exhaust. So once they get the right flange coming off the catalyst, because this is a catback exhaust, they go ahead and start taking little sections of pipe and tack welding them all the way back in a similar pattern to where the factory exhaust would go. So here's the culprit to our issue. Here's the gasket right here. I mean, rusted, corroded, burned. But this is where the exhaust actually broke. I mean, there's the weld right there. That's where the pipe snapped. The pipe was just rotted after all these years. That's nuts. I'm I'm gonna keep it as a souvenir.
Hang it on the wall.
Trophy. Now that some of the piping is done, including a couple temporary hangers, they go ahead and start positioning the muffler. Now the end goal here is to try to get the muffler up into the car as much as possible so you don't see it hanging down like you do in some cars. Once the muffler is fixed in the desired location, then they go ahead and route the rest of the temporary piping to the muffler, and you can start to see the exhaust taking shape, or at least the general idea of it. So this is the muffler we're going to be using. It's Borla's Pro XS line, which is basically a universal muffler. You can use it on a lot of different applications, and it works really well for this because of the size. It obviously fits, so that's important, but it should give a nice, deep, mellow growl. Nothing too insane, but it'll definitely be a lot more tame than it is now, and I can actually drive the car with the windows up and not hate myself. One little thing that we have to work around is the tow bar. The 240 actually has 2 tow bars, one on either side, but the factory muffler actually had 2 openings and little round tips, maybe like an inch and a half in diameter. They weren't very big, but they sat on either side of the tow bar. Because this is a single exit muffler, we kind of have to work around that tow bar. I was gonna take it off, but the bolts are like way up in there behind a metal plate, and I really don't want to have to try to take all this stuff off just for a tip. So being that this is a temporary setup, we're just going to put the tip on a little bit offset to the tow bar. It'll still look nice, and honestly it'll probably be the nicest looking thing on the whole car. Now that the template is done and additional welding is done just to keep it all in place, they're going to drop the exhaust, take it to the room behind us, and do additional measuring, find out where everything needs to be bent to create a digital blueprint for the final product. That blueprint is then sent to the manufacturing floor where they start bending the final exhaust. So after the bending process is done, you get something like this. So if you look closely, you can see how they kind of did the mock-up with the template and put some temporary hangers on there. And now it's just one big smooth piece of pipe. Alright, the exhaust is almost done. They've already put all the piping in there, finished the welds right behind the catalyst, got some new hangers in there, and now it's finishing up the welds around the muffler. Alright, I'm going to give this thing a quick wipe down, and then we're going to lower the car and start it up and see how she sounds. It's always good to wipe off fingerprints and stuff, because your hand oils, I'm not sure what or why it does what it does, but when the exhaust gets hot, you can risk leaving like imprints, like permanent imprints in your exhaust otherwise. Alright, let's see how she sounds. Well guys, I hope you've enjoyed all of the videos. This has just been an awesome trip, and I can't thank Borla enough for allowing us to come and hang out and see what it's all about. And I honestly thought I was just gonna run no exhaust on this car until I got the RB swapped in, but again, huge thanks to them for offering to put on that temporary setup. It Once the RB gets swapped in, we're gonna come back up here for some extra time and do a proper development of a custom exhaust that really lets that RB shine. It's gonna be really exciting, and I'll keep you guys up to date on that. I know you recognize this pipe too. They actually let me keep it. It's the exhaust template that we welded together to get the general shape of the exhaust they put on the car. And I also got them to tack weld the broken flange from where the factory exhaust snapped in half going down I-95. So I'd say that's a pretty cool memento. I just got to try to find a wall that's big enough that I could put this on. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe today. There's always a lot more where that came from. Take care, everyone.